Good morning and welcome to the Black Mesa Transit System. This automated train is provided for the security and convenience of the Black Mesa Research Facility personnel.
Usually when you hear the term fan remake, it's closely followed by a story of how the original publisher has slapped a cease and desist notice on the developers. Black Mesa, however, is different. Started way back in 2005, this is the original Half-Life transitioned into the Source engine by a group of fans. When Valve came across it, as a free-to-download mod, they were so impressed with what they saw that they gave their blessing for it to continue, and become a full retail release. It's been in early access for nearly 8 years, but that early access period has now ended, and the game is officially released on Steam. Playing it, you can feel the developers' passion for the project pouring out of every second. It's not over-egging it to say that the original Half-Life is one of the most influential games of all time. Before its arrival, all first-person shooters tended to be nothing more than arena shooters, with the flimsiest of narratives. Then along came Valve with a fully realised story where the world was as important as the characters. The game's iconic opening, where you're taken on a 10-minute guided tour of the facility from the confines of a monorail carriage, has led to countless similar offerings, in the likes of Bioshock's diving bell arrival to Rapture, and Red Dead Redemption 2's opening horse ride. It's an exemplary example of world building, and it still stands up 22 years later. From the moment it starts, it's obvious that Crowbar Collective was simply not content with porting the game over to a new engine, warts and all. Every opportunity to improve some of the less satisfying elements of the original has been taken. Where once there was a blank wall, there will now be windows and offices behind. Unmanned workstations now sit at the end of corridors where there was previously nothing, and new dialogue further enriches the backstory. When a guard comments on the disappointment that Gordon Freeman no longer has a ponytail, you can't help but chuckle a little. What was always brilliant about Half-Life was the way your approach to the game was forced to change regularly. Shooting your way to success is never always an option, and you'll have to use your brains as well. Puzzles are never intrusive or particularly taxing, but they serve to stop the game from ever getting boring. Each chapter is just the right length, and distinguishes itself by either being set in a new area, or by requiring you to do something new, like ride a train car or creep past a huge enemy that's drawn to sound. There are no waypoints, but you'll always find where you're supposed to be going next with a little exploration. The biggest change comes in the Zen portion of the game. Towards the end of the campaign, you found yourself transported to the aliens' homeworld, and in the original game this was by far the worst part of the game, with bland graphics and awkward platforming. This part of the game has now been completely redesigned from the ground up, and it's vastly superior in almost every way. Instead of cumbersome crouch jumping, you can now propel yourself further with a double jump, and it all looks fantastic. Some of it does feel a little archaic by today's standards. Players raised on the gunplay of Call of Duty or Wolfenstein will find that the weapons here feel a little underpowered and clumsy. Certain sections can also get very frustrating. Occasionally an autosave will mean that you're respawning with a tiny amount of health remaining, forcing you to load an earlier save and repeat a section that you've already done. Boss fights are also disappointing, requiring little in the way of finesse, and they all tend to go on a bit too long. Just stock up on plenty of ammo for your most powerful weapons and work on your ability to move quickly, and that should see you through. A multiplayer component is still present too, offering some fast-paced death matches, but this feels tacked on and unnecessary. Stick to Team Fortress or Counter-Strike if you want some source-powered online play. Black Mesa is an example of how a remake should be done. Respect the original, but don't be afraid to fix things that didn't quite work the first time around. If you've never played Half-Life before, then this is an absolutely essential purchase, but fans should definitely pick it up as well.